I shared last week about how we have VCT tile in certain rooms in our house, like our bathroom and also in our downstairs hallway. And we chose this kind of flooring because we really wanted colorful checks, and this was the most affordable way to do it. It does require some maintenance, though. It's not hard, but I thought I would show you how I take care of these floors. So first I use this Zep floor stripper. Zep has this 4-part system. It kind of makes it a no-brainer. So it was time to clean these floors. This back hallway, oh my gosh, it gets so much traffic. So I decided to take it all the way down and strip it. You really only have to do this. I mean, we're not in an industrial setting, so it's a little different. And I actually haven't stripped our floor back in a really long time, but that floor stripper just takes off everything and makes it so that it can receive the new polish and stuff like that. Here, my girls are like, oh, it's so hard to get into this hallway to get it clean because we are just back here all the time just because of the layout of the house. Our house it was built in the 1870s, and it very much has like a front of house, back of house uh, layout. So the back of the house is all these utility rooms that actually used to be freestanding buildings at one time, and we think they kind of connected them to the fancier front part of the house maybe in the 1920s, although we really aren't 100% sure. So back here there's a room that is a bathroom that who knows what it was. Maybe in the 20s is when they put in the plumbing. Again, not sure. There's a room we use as a pantry, as a laundry, and then the kitchen is way at the back of the house. Just, very much in that old-fashioned style where they would push the kitchen off to the very back because it wasn't something that you wanted anybody to see. So we were constantly in this hallway because we were constantly going to the kitchen. And the way we live now in 2024, everyone's always in the kitchen. So when we give parties and things, I do try to make everything in advance because we just don't have that layout where you can be kind of prepping and cooking and entertaining at the same time. It's very much like meant to be hidden away the way our house is laid out. And, probably someone bringing you stuff in the main room of the house. Well, of course, we don't have servants, so I try to have everything ready beforehand so we can just be in the front part of the house instead of all crowding into our kitchen in the back part of the house. I know that a lot of older homes from renovation shows that I've seen, they'll move the kitchen like to what was the formal dining room. I've seen that a lot so that everything flows better for the more modern way that we live. Oh, so I let the stripper dry. I rinsed it twice. You put the stripper on, then you rinse it twice, then you let the floor dry. Now I'm putting on the high traffic floor polish, which is the fun part because it makes the floor really, really shiny. And you put on about 4 thin coats of this and you let it dry in between. And that is really tricky. So I actually got up, see, so it was like, oh, I got up really early in the morning so I could get most of the coats done before everybody woke up because it's pretty tricky to get that amount of time where we're just not walking on this floor at all. And here you see the finished result. So it's really not hard, and I love the shiny checks. It makes me so happy. I really love to see them, and it really cheers up this back hallway, which when we moved in was the color of dirt. Speaking of these service rooms in the back, this is the pantry. It had these built-in shelves. I'm not sure if they used it as a pantry, but we use it as a pantry. It's next to the kitchen, and we brightened it up with paint. I have a video about doing the floor in here. I'll link it down below in case you want to see. I also made these curtains, and there's a ton of storage space behind them, and they hide a multitude of ugly things. And this room works really hard for us, and we're really fortunate to have such a huge pantry, and it's nice because it means we don't have to have our cupboards in the kitchen full of food. We can just keep them in the pantry, which is great. But it is challenging to keep this room organized because we're just in and out of it so much, and it gets so much wear and tear. The pantry has gotten really disorganized. I really struggle with organizing the pantry because I want it to look really pretty and styled like those magazine pictures, but we keep so much stuff in here. And frankly, food is kind of unglamorous in its packaging, but I decided to take what I had. So I went around the house and scrounged up these empty baskets and stuff that I wasn't really using for anything else. And I decided to try again because when it is organized or when I have it the way I like it looking or it looks pretty, I'm more inspired to keep it tidy. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I don't like the way it looks, even when it is tidied up, I'm just not even interested in organizing it. And then I just throw things in here and the kids throw things in here. And then before we know it, we've got this just awful jumble. And everything does have its place, and the house just works so much better when the pantry is in good organization. So a few years ago, I got these gold little wire baskets from Dollar Tree, and I've been using them to organize, but it was time to mix it up a little bit. And so I looked at some inspiration pictures online, and I got the idea that what might be the best thing to do would be to break it up a little bit. So I've got these wire baskets. I've got some brown woven baskets, and then I've got some cloth, I don't know what to call them. They're from the Container Store. They're black stripes. I also have some with little trees on them, and I decided maybe if I mix these up on the shelves, that'll be the most pleasing thing. And I was pretty happy with that. So I just mixed in a little crock I had, some plastic baskets that I bought when we first organized the pantry, baskets, wire baskets. There's not much I could do about the cans. They're just going to stay unglamorous. But I do like those shelves with how it's broken up like that. And so I was encouraged, and I decided to keep going with it. This is where I keep all of my spices, and I used to try to do them alphabetically, and now I just put them by category. Like, I'm putting all the ones that I use all the time in here, which is pretty much Italian seasoning and garlic powder. And since the pantry's been so disorganized, I'm realizing that I have way too many of each kind because I couldn't, I would forget what I had and buy another one when I was at the store. So hopefully in time, the spices will take up less room because I know that they lose their potency with time, and I probably have a lot of things in here that are expired, or just not as potent anymore. But just for today, I just put everything in categories. I put my most used ones in here. And then I put these metal and wicker and cloth baskets in again just to break it up, and also so I can remember different categories. Like I have all my really spicy things together, like for making chili, and then I have all my sort of meat seasonings for chicken or beef. I put those together. So it's idiosyncratic to me, and I'm going to have to explain it to the kids so they understand how to put things away, I guess. I put all the cookie cutters next to the spices that I associate with baking, like cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, and all those things like that. I put a basket of my cocoa powders and random things I have, like cherry pie filling that's been in the back of the pantry forever, and just put all that stuff in a baking basket. Over here we keep all of our oils and vinegars and lemon juices and pasta, peanut butter, coffee. So I corralled it all into a mix. Again, I just kind of mixed it up. Wicker basket, plastic basket, cloth, some little crocks for tea. I've got a couple bread boxes that are actually housing other things, not bread, but at least they look nice and neat. I still felt like I just wanted a little bit more baskets, so I looked around again and I found a few other baskets and I added to the shelves. This is what it ended up looking like in the end. The whole thing. I ended up using quite a few of those cloth baskets. I have a lot of them. I've been using them in the laundry room, but I'm about to refresh the laundry room too, so I stole some more and took my napkins out. And so got those, got the plastic and the wicker, my bread boxes. We love popcorn in my family, so got our stash of popcorn and the bottles of oil. There's just no way to disguise those, I guess. So there they are. Here are my spices. I'm most pleased with these. My spices were really getting out of control, and I think now I've got them categorized better, and they've got more room than they had before, which is great. There was still a few that, like the salts, that I just couldn't fit anywhere at all. So, and my cans, I feel like it's a 1950s look with all the cans there. Those scalafani are actually vases. They're empty, but I love them so much. And they're not a paper label. They're like printed on, so they last and last. And I like to bring them out and put flowers in them. My cookbooks here. 3 guesses who's my favorite cookbook author. You can probably notice. And here's my other VCT floor that I recently polished up. This is upstairs. This is probably our most colorful and fun one. We really went bold with these colors, but it's nice to have bold, bright colors in small spaces like that might otherwise just be kind of pokey. So I'm a big believer in that, I guess, having tried it out and enjoyed it several times with these hallways. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you organize your pantry? Do you have any great ideas for styling? I am all ears. I'm much happier with my pantry now than I was before, and I like the mix. It's never going to look quite exactly like a magazine because we do, after all, have to store food in there and not style it. So there's always going to be a giant plastic jug of olive oil in my pantry probably, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and I think I'm going to be more inspired to keep it neat this spring. What about you? Do you find yourself inspired to keep things neat if you like how they look style-wise? Do you have VCT tile in your home, or do you have any other kind of colorful check flooring option? I would love to hear about it. Or if you think you would be interested in having VCT tile, I'd be interested to hear that too, because I know it's a little bit of an unusual choice, but it's worked really well for my family. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week. I look forward to your comments, and bye for now.